Okay, and I want to point out that there's 2 extra credit points if you get the extra credit question at the end. So that's something to think about. Our first speaker of the day.
Quick question before we start.
Okay.
How do you ignore that light?
It's hard, isn't it? Maybe stand to the side over here. Or not. There you go.
That helps.
Is that better?
Yeah,
We might have a pointer up there. I don't know. Did you see anything like that? Would you like a pointer?
I can probably reach all my data.
That's a possibility. Or this does not work as a pointer. No pointer. Too broken. Something like that. Okay, I give you Anthony. Take it away.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anthony. Today I'm going to be talking about my data, which talks about accidents, aircraft accidents between 1990 and 2009. However, I was able, after a little bit of research, to extend it up to 2015, which you'll be able to see here. Not all the fields I wasn't able to find all the fields, but I found at least some of the most relevant ones, right? So in my today presentation, I will be talking about what my data is about. I'll be talking a little bit about why I find it interesting, why you may find it interesting, as well as a little story of how did I come up to my data. So without further ado, my data is divided in 4 categories. Each category has small subcategories on them. My first category is called air carrier accidents. This basically involves all aircraft that has 10 or more seats, registered aircraft, of course. The second one is registered aircraft with 10 or less seats, so like helicopters or small aircrafts. The third one is on-demand air taxis. This is actually private aircrafts, like for example, rich people have their own aircraft, the president, so they're all registered as well, but they fall into this category. And then the last category, general aviation accident. This category includes all aircraft that are not registered. So people didn't register their aircraft, but they still had an accident, so the accident still registered. As you can see, each category has small subcategories. They include fatal accidents, the fatalities that were inside the aircraft, the fatalities that were involved in the accident overall, and then a little percentage on a rate based on 100,000 flights. That'll go for all 4 categories, and then we got the years from 1990 all the way up to 2015. So the reason I find this data interesting, and to talk a little bit more about it as well, when you see this data, it's not just numbers, as you can see. This actually is history. Some of them, you'll be able to notice, there's a lot of accidents in the years. Like for example, one very well known, 2001. Look at those fatalities. That's a lot. Probably know why, right? So there's a lot of history here. As you can see, aircraft has been struggling to increase aircraft security. Satellites have been becoming better. Radars, sonar, all that technology they use. You will see a big hike down on accidents between, for example, when it first started, long ago, in 1990. You see there's usually accidents every year, but then by the beginning of 2010, 2011, 12, accidents are 0 and fatalities are 0 as well. So it's more like history of how aircraft security has been evolving, and that's why I find it interesting. And this is data interesting for just about anybody who flies. Maybe some of you may have family, they travel, maybe you want to go to Las Vegas one day. You probably want to take an aircraft for that, right? Because driving to Las Vegas is kind of a long drive, I imagine. Or maybe if you don't like flying, maybe one of your family members want to fly, to visit you or to visit some other family member. So that in itself is a lot of interesting things about my data, I think, at least. So a little bit of how did I come up with this data. I was just looking through the census.gov website and I found out that I was like, oh, excellent data. I really love aircraft ever since I was a young kid. I traveled a lot with my family. I loved aircraft food. So I was like, this data is really for me. I was a little bummed out that it was incomplete or more like outdated because 2009 is pretty old data. But I managed to go to the citations and research some more data, compile some data, and that's how I come up with the data all the way to 2015. So in conclusion, I talked about what my data is about. We talk a little bit about how it shows history on aircraft safety, not just fatalities in itself. And we also say a little history about how I come up with it. It was my pleasure talking with y'all. Good luck to all your presentations, and thank you.
Thank you. Okay.